Oh my god, so I was watching EU and she was talking about how think about like your internal like beauty standards, and I love conversations like this. And it got me to thinking about how like when I was younger, like I've always grew up being really skinny, and then like I've gained weight too. But it's mainly because like I was just like depressed and agoraphobic. And I was thinking about how like I would say to like my sorry, they're playing the game in the background. But um how like my narcissist in my life, the woman who raised me, was like so mad that I like being skinny. Like they were so mad that I enjoyed being skinny, and they would like when people would compliment me on being skinny because this lady was like overweight her whole life and got abused for it by her mom. She would be like, no man's gonna really like a skinny girl. You have like you're like they have nothing to grab onto. Real men like plus size women. And she would body shame me for being skinny, which I know people are used to it the other way, but no, like in my life, it was like I was constantly like being body shamed for being skinny, and it was just crazy because I'm like, dude, other people are complimenting me, and like my friends and my cousins and like everybody who's skinny. Why would I listen to you? Now, I don't think it's wrong being whatever size you want to be because I think there's beauty in like all sizes, but like I personally like being skinny. Like I've always been like my dad's tall and slim and so am I. So like it's like my dad's side of the family, majority of people are tall and slim. Like that's just like, genetics. Like I can't control that. And because her mom like abused her. I know I've talked about this before. But because her mom abused her, she wanted to abuse me. And one thing that sticks out to me is I always remember this time when I was on Patapsco Avenue in Brooklyn in Maryland, and this lady this lady like was complimenting me, and so was her like husband, and they were like they were such a cute couple. It was like it's just like a young black couple, and they were just like, oh, you're so pretty, and they were like, because I was like a good kid, like I was church going, like if you know me from back home, like I am like a church kid. That's South Carolina. We are the Bible Belt. I don't care. So sorry, that's my dishwasher. Anyway, they were like, oh, like they wanted me to hang out with their kid, right? Because I'm a good kid, and you want your kids to be around other good kids so they don't get like badly influenced. And I was like, oh, that'd be so fun. But like, they were laughing me, like how like people who are older than you, or like adults when you're a kid, they'll like joke and be like, oh, like you're so tiny, like those clothes are wearing you, those stuff like that. They also like, oh yeah, those clothes are wearing you, and I guess it triggered her, and she started like annihilating me. Like, no, she's not. No man's gonna want that. No man wants a skinny person. Real men want this. Da 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 da. And like, it was insane, and I'm starting to cry because I know how bad this is about to get for me. And like when I go home, it's gonna be 10 times worse. And mind you, I'm a tiny little child, so like I didn't hit my growth spurt until I was like in the fifth grade, I think. And so I'm like, please stop to the couple, and they could obviously tell like something's wrong here because like, and she just like annihilated me, like nobody wants her. She's scrawny. She doesn't have any body, mind you. I'm like 6, 7. I'm like between that age range because like I was really little, and I know this because we live on a particular street when I was like that age, so I was young. Why are you destroying a child's body? Like that's weird. And she just kept going and going and going. Like, um, oh. And then when I was saying like, oh, like I like being skinny, I think like that's the prettiest thing to be. She's like, oh, well, you must only think that if you're gay. You must only think that it's pretty to be skinny, if you're gay, if you like other women. I'm like, what? Because she was sexually abusing me, and I don't know, like bro, she just wanted to destroy me any way she could. And it was like insane because no matter what I said, she just had her and her ugly ass husband had something to say. Like they did. I was not allowed. If I was talking to other kids, they were interjecting. If I was like like that's when I'm like, oh my god, I can't even get it out. Oh my god, it was so crazy. But then other adults, obviously, like that couple, and then other people on the street would chime in and help me. But then like a little thing that got on my nerves is that like when I would like snap back, everyone would be like, "Oh, Mika, don't let like what they're doing to you become who you are." And I agree with that, but it kind of hurt my feelings because it's like I'm allowed to lash out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm literally being abused every single day. People cannot compliment me without someone tearing me down because they're insecure about their weight. And it made me mad. And I snapped at her one day, which is crazy because I was like 7 years old. And I was just like, if you hate how big you are, then why don't you just lose the weight? And she literally got another child to hit me. And I was like, and this child was way older than me. And I'm just like, that's insane. And then I cried and she was like, shut up before I get more kids to do it. Like, it was crazy. It was insane. But yeah, I was watching EU and that just like brought that memory back to me because I was like, that's crazy. Like, how can an adult do that to a child because they're insecure? Like, you are deeply rooted insecurity. And I remember like they would try to bait me into conversations to put me down because they were like, "Oh, like, oh, does anyone like you at school?" And like she was glaring at me through the rearview mirror because she had like this expedition, and she would just glare at me. And then she was like, "I was like, oh well, like this guy likes me," and they were like, "Really? They like you? They must be a nerd." And I was like, "Yeah, well, I like nerds because I do. Like, I like nerds. I don't know." Um, I like how smart they are, and I like how like they can just tell me random facts. I love random facts. And she was like, "Oh, he's gonna grow out of that when he gets older because real men like women with bodies." And I was like, I used to feel like, dang, like, will guys not like me because I'm so skinny? And then like, you know, you go through life and like people try to put you down for being skinny. If you're like where I'm from, no one tried to put me down for being skinny. Like, they loved it. But then like she moved us to like a bad neighborhood on purpose and would not leave it because, in her words, "I don't want you thinking you're better than me." What is wrong with you? I'm a literal child. And this like went on throughout like until I became an adult and left. Like, it was so crazy. But like luckily I have a father who doesn't play that, and he's like military. He's like really into health and fitness and things like that. So he just like was not going for it. He's like, you know, like, why are you eating all this stuff? Like, I was like afraid to tell him because, you know, like if I go back to that house, like I'm gonna get hurt because I'm telling him. And she would always say, "What happens in this house stays at this house." Yeah, and I was just like really scared. And then, but he like always like was like, "No, you shouldn't eat like that." So like, I don't know. But she would try to force feed me things to like make me fat. Like, she was crazy. She shoved cake in my face because I didn't want to eat. I'm not like a big like sweets person, so I didn't want to eat it. And one time we were around her mom and she shoved a sausage biscuit from McDonald's in my face because the doctor said I wasn't eating, but really it was just because she wanted me to gain weight. And her mom was like, "Stop it," and like consoled me and was like, "You don't have to eat that. Like, she's just jealous because she's like bigger." And she just kept crying, saying like, "That's not fair. That's not fair." Like, I know she has some deep rooted issues with her mom, but like she shouldn't have taken it out on me. You know what I mean? And then one time we like, you know those keto strips that you like urinate on and it'll tell you like if you're in ketosis or not. So she used to have those, right? Because she was always on like crazy diets, but like she couldn't really lose weight. I don't really know why. I think it's like her body type, like, you know, like there's different body types, but she well, she would eat really bad food, so that's probably why she like binge ate, I'm sorry. And she would like, I used one of them because like, oh, like I thought it was like a cool thing, and like maybe like if we were like into the same thing, she wouldn't like be angry at me anymore. So I did it, and I was in ketosis because I naturally eat more carnivore and like fruit, but I don't eat fruit all the time, obviously, right? Because like I have to like wait until as a kid until they buy it. So I would just eat fruit because we always have meat in the house. I mean, eat meat. And she would like, she got so mad. I was like, "Go downstairs and eat." And I'm like a kid, so I'm like, okay, like, why are you angry? Like, that's crazy. And then her stupid family was like, "Oh, well, she's just jealous of you. Don't pay no mind." You're watching some grown woman who's like ginormous compared to me abuse me and beat me down every single day, and you're not saying anything to this person, but you want me as a kid to let it go and be the bigger person. She's quite literally the bigger person. Why shouldn't she be the bigger person? She's an adult. Send her to therapy, but you can't do anything about it because at the end of the day, they liked keeping her the insecure person that she was because it made them feel better about themselves. They didn't care what was happening to me. Like, I remember like a few times one of her family members was snapping like, that's enough. Like, if she was embarrassing them in public because of her obsession with me, like literal obsession. Look up the definition of obsession. That's what it was. And she like they screamed at her, that's enough, because she was embarrassing them. But any other time, it was just like, oh, just here you go play. And another thing is like her family, I think, didn't want her to go to therapy or get her committed because they didn't want the shame. But everyone sees what she's doing, so why not just get like, you know what I mean? Like, why not just get her committed or like report her? I don't know. Like, something was wrong with her. Like, you're shoving food in a child's face. She did that often because like I eat when I'm hungry. My dad's like that. Like, that's just how we are. Like, I don't know. Like, me and my dad, we could just go like a day or two without eating and nothing's wrong. Like, and then we'll eat like, oh, like now we're hungry, so we're gonna eat. Like, it's nothing wrong with that. And I'm tired of people pretending like it is. They'll be like, oh, you must have an eating disorder. No, this is naturally how I eat. And clearly you're the one with the eating disorder. Like, you're the one with the problems here, not me, because you eat your feelings. And you're trying to push that onto me. Like, I'm not you. I will never be you, so stop it. And it was just so annoying. Like, I didn't know how to manage that, obviously, because I was a kid and nobody was helping me. And she would isolate me from the people who were trying to help me. And it was just always like that. It didn't matter, like, who was around. It would always come out. If someone talked to me, she's gonna come run in there. Like, a little kid would be like, oh, wouldn't you rather talk to me? And then if they would say no, she would, like, get mad. I'm like, she can't be your friend anymore. Something that's not like normal. Like, that's like arrested development or something. I've been trying to figure out what she was, but like, obviously I think she's like histrionic personality disorder. Like, she has that, and like obviously narcissism. But I say that because of the things she would do. She would try to turn my friends against me at like my entire life. So like, even as a child and into adulthood. And I'm like, you realize, like, obviously some people are gonna fall for it because, you know, like smear campaigns, some people fall for it, and that like really hurt me. But there's some people wouldn't, and like she would isolate me, like I just said. And then when they did it, she would like try to grab my arm and be weird and be like, oh, see, you don't need them, you just need me. Like, she was wicked. Like, something was mentally like wrong. And I would be like, what is like wrong with you? And like she would just like get mad or like try to like playfully laugh it off until I like got really angry and be like, what is wrong with you? And then she would like look shamed and be like, shut up. And then like, I don't know, like she was just weird. On a side note, I like ChatGPT better than like any therapist because ChatGPT keeps it real. Therapists, they be trying to beat around the bush. No, what is wrong with this woman? Let me know. What would these actions indicate is wrong with the person? I want to know those answers, please. And thank you. Like, why would you sit there and get so mad? Or why would you even want to have a child around you that like you don't like? And I'll ask her that, and she'd be like, oh, because people are gonna think I'm a bad person if like you're not here. But then she would do like weird stuff to like punish me for getting attention when I got home. Another thing she did, she would try to always make me watch her kids so that I couldn't hang out with other kids. Like, if we went to an event, didn't matter what kind, she would try to like make me be in charge of her kids so I couldn't go and have fun with other kids. Plus, her and her husband didn't want me speaking of the abuse that they were doing to me, like the SA. So they would like always try to isolate me from adults and other kids who they knew I felt safe around. Like, they would watch me to see if I felt safe around them, and then they would try to get me away from those people. And her husband was so weird. Like, oh my god, he was so weird. He would like, okay, so say we're pulling up to like a park, and people were like, oh hey, come on Mika, let's go play. And he would make me like, he wouldn't let me get out the car until he like fully parked, right? Mind you, we're in like a parking lot, so like you could literally just stop and like let us get out the car and then you park. But no, like he like made me sit there and wait, and they would sit there and wait, like why isn't he letting her get out the car? Like, you know, other people are, like, have a mouth. Like, I'm in a bad situation, so I can't. Sometimes I would, but like sometimes I just like couldn't speak up because it's like he's gonna make it worse for me if I do. So I'm just sitting there like waiting, like he's making me wait. They're sitting there waiting, like, what is wrong with him? Adults, like, can you let her get out the car? And like he's like, well, I'm parked. He would only do it if like the other adults got involved. Like, he would sit there and slowly park, back in, back out, back in, back. Oh, I'm trying to straighten it up just so I couldn't go have fun. Like, it was so weird. And then sit there and stare at me the entire time, while other people like was like, what is wrong with him? Are you okay at home? And like, I was so afraid to speak up. And like, it's crazy, like, when you think about like so much you went through as like a child and how it still like affects you in your adulthood. Because I never really talk, like, I would talk about it sometimes, but like at the time, because there was some toxic adults who like just enjoy this moment because you know you have to go back home to that. I think they kind of came from like bad backgrounds, so they just wanted me to enjoy my childhood, and I really do appreciate that. I didn't mean to say toxic for them, but I'm saying like that part of like you don't really ever express yourself can be toxic. Because yes, I did need to enjoy myself, but I wish that like I had like adults I could express what was happening to. But people saw it. You know what I mean? Like, people saw it and they like stepped in the best they could. CPS didn't do anything, but they tried to the best they could. But yeah, like, I just told my therapist about this. But I remember going to Sandy Point and like I'm playing with like these like kids at the beach. It was cool because they were like Puerto Rican, so they were trying to teach me Spanish. Kids are so funny. Like, why are you trying to learn Spanish randomly at the beach? That is so funny to me. But anyway, they tried to like teach me Spanish, and then like we had like, it was like other kids of like different races, so we were all trying to learn Spanish from these Puerto Rican kids. And like he got mad because it was like a little boy near me, and he was like, what are you gonna do? Like, go do something. And she got in, like, I can like, they were not even quiet about this. Like, they were never quiet. Like, why does CPS do nothing? I don't know. But she got in the water and kept like following me, like blocking my path, like, so I couldn't like swim around her because she's like ginormous compared to me. And she said, what do you think you're doing? You know he likes you. To a child, to a freaking child. And oh my goodness, like, that was a day that like this one lady, she tried to get the the authorities involved, but unfortunately she couldn't because he didn't like do anything. He was like, oh, if he didn't touch you today, I can't do anything. Everyone sees this man staring at me. It's making all the adults uncomfortable, the kids uncomfortable, everyone uncomfortable. But because he didn't do anything that day, and the cop was like kind of racist, and he thought that like I was Hispanic, and was like, oh, I don't want you to think you're one of us. He literally said that to me. That was crazy. Nothing was done of it, and it was just like insane to like witness firsthand. Like, as a kid, like, what are you supposed to do with that information? Like, okay, you're not gonna do anything, so like, I might as well try to go. I try to listen to the advice I learned earlier to just go try to have fun, because these people are insane and y'all keep letting me go back to their house. So that's crazy. I know some of these things I've talked about before, but they just like are like the ones that stand out to me because obviously they were traumatic to me, and it was just crazy. But that was like my whole life. Like, those two people trying to ruin it. Oh my goodness. This is also inspired by, I think, one of EU's videos, and then the brown skin exotical. Yeah, because she cut off my hair, and then she like manipulated her husband's daughter to like be jealous of me. She manipulated her because she would try to compare us and like put her down, all these things. So, and made her like not like me. And then she cut my hair, and then she sent that little girl who was like 17 at the time to cut my hair. And I was like, she's a year older than me, so I was 16. She cut my hair in my sleep because her ugly husband said it was pretty. And he did that because other people outside was like, oh, I like your curls. And we were just talking, you just talk to like other people about their hair and like, oh, like, what do you do with yours? Like, it was not that big of a deal. Like, it was not that serious. Why would you do that? I don't know. They cut my, okay, one, that woman, like, I was like fixing my hair in the mirror in like this downstairs, like basement room area that was connected to a kitchen. And I was looking in the mirror, fixing my hair, like doing stuff with it. And I always used to wear my hair in a bun because she would get mad if it like looked good. So I had to like let it be nappy and stuff like that, or they're gonna cut it. This is like not the first time. I know I've talked about this, but it was like not the first time. She comes up, she's like, "Oh, I like it better short," and I'm like, I'm trying to ignore her because like I know what she's doing. Her ugly ass husband looks at me, smirks, and like, "Oh yeah, I really like your hair." She comes with scissors, comes up behind me, and cuts into it. I was like, "Oh, you have to cut it now." I couldn't move. I was shocked. So when she went to sleep, I cut her hair off. Yes, I cut the front of it off. Cause you're not like, I was so fed up. Like, I was like older at that point. I was like maybe 15, 16, and I was like, yeah, you're not doing this to me anymore. Like, I'm not gonna keep being your victim. Like, oh my God, like, why would you do that? Like, I was so hurt. And my dad's like indigenous, so he does not like that. Like, like my family, like, you don't cut your hair. Like, that's just not a thing. And he will always get mad at us if we like straighten our hair or cut it. Like, he's very, you know what I mean? And it was just crazy to me. Like, why would you do that? And then my, like, God rest her soul, my aunt, she always had my back, but I miss her so much. Like, on my dad's side, she always had my back, and that was just crazy. Like, I was so hurt. Why would you do that to like somebody? Like, why would you do that? Because they're getting compliments. Like, to this day I don't understand. And oh my God, like, I just there, she was just such an evil person. And then her stupid family members want to act like I'm wrong for still talking about these things. Like, is that wasn't my whole childhood, and if that wasn't like severely traumatic, like, it was so freaking traumatic. But like, now I'm happy and I'm having fun and I'm going places and I'm traveling the world, and she's not here to like abuse me, and that's like amazing. But you know what I mean? Like, that's still things that happened to me growing up, and those things affect you into your adulthood. But yeah, I feel like it's so therapeutic to talk about things you experienced in your life, because then it helps people understand why you are the way you are. And like I always try to leave with kindness, and I know that makes people mad. I know it's like people are like, "Oh, stop being nice to that person," like they're clearly like mean. But it's like I went through so much growing up that I don't like to lead with like being mean or harming. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to be nice to people because I know how much someone can be going through at home and no one know anything about it. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I try to lead with kindness. Is I don't get why people want to be mean, but like, that's on them. You know what I mean? Maybe they're going through something, they choose to like lash out like those evil monsters did to me. And like, this weird control thing she would do is say, "Oh, you can't say if someone's jealous of you because you is like jealous of you because you don't know that. You don't know that." While they're clearly displaying jealousy, she just didn't want me to be able to defend myself, like, at all. Like, if I defended myself, it was a problem. If I would call somebody out for being jealous, it's like they can't handle being called what they are. And I don't get that. Like, it's like, I don't know, like, why do people hate, like, I don't know. Like, if you're being jealous, you're being jealous. You need to stop. If you don't want to be called jealous, don't be jealous. Like, work on that internally. I don't, like, I was talking to my therapist about this. Like, and she said, some people, jealousy is foreign to them, and I'm one of those people, and like, that's okay. Like, it's like I'm trying so hard to figure it out because like, this is so, oh my God, my therapist, she got on me about this, is that I want to fix people and I can't. Like, you cannot fix people because it's that Christian mindset of like, oh, you gotta act like God, be Christ like. And it's like, but you can't fix people. Like, you can't. And like, I just have to learn to accept that, because it's hard for me, because like, I don't want people to be like hurting. And also because the person who was supposed to raise me made me responsible for her feelings. Like oh, she literally, oh my god, she literally said to me, she was like, yeah, you're supposed to do everything for me. I come first. I was a child when she said that. And I was like, are you insane, woman? No, you're not. Like, what is wrong with you? And anytime I would get money, she would take it from me. If like people would buy me clothes because she refused to buy me clothes, like she would never buy me like hair products or clothes or anything like that. Like she just wanted me to feel like disgusting and down on myself. So other people would buy stuff for me, right? The sister that I just, like the stepsister that I just mentioned, who she turned against me, her mom would buy me stuff. She would steal the stuff that she bought me. Like she would like buy me t-shirts. I forgot the name of that store, but it was like Broadway or something, and like you would get like a bunch of like colorful t-shirts for like a few bucks, like under $5. And she would buy me a bunch of them, and like undershirts, like tank tops to go under them. And like I come home with all these t-shirts and camisoles and all this, and she would take them and wear them for herself. And like you have to share everything. As soon as she'd be like, oh, what did you get for me? Huh? What did you get for me? And like, that's like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, you won't buy me stuff, but you're trying to take what other people bought for me, and this is all I have to wear to school because you have never bought me anything. And she will like roll her eyes and then still take it, Like that's how she was. Or she would throw a temperature like, it's not fair. You guys buy stuff for them, but you don't buy stuff for me. Like as in the kids, but everyone else was allowed to have stuff. Like her other stepchildren, when people bought them stuff, maybe because like also their parents, like their mom and stuff, would snap if she was to do something like that. Like they would go off, rightfully so, because you're taking stuff from a child. Like, and they would go off for me too, but it was like, only like if they could only do what they saw. Like if they saw them doing it, they would defend me, but if they didn't see it, then like what are they gonna do? You know what I mean? But it was crazy to experience. It was like, what is wrong with you? Like, it's like you're being raised, and I would say she raised me. I feel like I raised myself because she was like not like a parent at all. But if someone's doing something like, oh my god, it's like the person who's supposed to raise you but isn't raising you, it's like a child. And how do you navigate that? You know what I mean? Like as a little girl, how do you navigate that? Like I'm a teenager, but like I'm like 14, 15, coming into like middle school and high school, and people are buying me stuff to keep me afloat. They're doing the best they can, and I'm not their kid. And I really appreciate y'all. I just want y'all to know that like I really appreciate y'all. If you ever watch this video, and it's like obviously my dad would send me money for clothes. She would try to steal it. Like anything that I had, like I had to like hide because she would take it from me. He would buy me shoes and boots and stuff. She would take it from me. It was like I could never just be like, how could you do that knowing that your child has no clothes for school and you take them? Like I just don't get that. And sorry, I'm getting a little bit distracted. I'm playing Sims in the background. And for a long time, I used to feel like so weird, like buying, like I love shopping, like I adore shopping. I've always been like that, and it's just crazy. Like it feels so good being an adult because no one can like take your stuff. Like no one can pretend like they're like they're not competing with you for resources when they're an adult and they should be buying it for you or even just for themselves. Like she would buy herself stuff and her like husband stuff, but not buy me stuff. Like say she would get her tax return, she would buy him like give him like $1,000 of her money. He would never give her money at all. Like he would never give her money, and she would like buy him all these clothes and like get him like rims for his expedition and just to keep him, because if she even gave me $100, she gave me like $100, and he was like, you should be giving that to me after he already gave her after she already gave him $1,000. I was like, that's insane. Like that's crazy. Like I wanted to live with my dad, but like there was like I felt bad to leave the other kids in the house. Like looking back, I probably shouldn't have done that because that wasn't like a good idea, because it just set me up for failure. But I didn't want to leave other kids in the house by themselves and like abandon them. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want them to be alone in that. But looking back, they had more protection than I did, because like a part of me was too afraid to tell my dad what was going on. And she would try to turn like local kids against me by like oh look, she's gonna get all the attention, she's gonna get all the attention, and they're kids, so they fell for it. So then they would try to jump me, and I'm like, what is even happening? Like, what is even my life? And I was so happy when one time, like, an adult caught her doing that and cussed her out, because it was like finally people are seeing like the covert BS that she does. She tries to pretend like she's like nice, but she's not. An example of her being a covert narcissist is she would like she would degrade me, like berate me, like call me skinny, say nobody would want me, all these bad things to me on the way to like church or to school or to like family functions. And then we get there and she's like being all nice, like, oh, she's just moody, she's just, I don't know, like, or like, oh my god, oh, the worst thing she would do is like, I'm having fun with like my family or anybody, like people outside of the home, and she'd be like, what's wrong, why is your face like that, what's the matter, like she keep doing this, and everyone's like nothing's wrong with her. And she keeps doing it. She keeps doing it. Everyone's looking at me like, are you okay? Like, they knew what she was doing, and she would keep doing it. She's like trying to nag me to have a reaction, so I look like the bad guy. And if I would have a reaction, she'd be like, see, she's so mean to me. And I'm like, everyone would be like, sometimes people would like go off on her, like, no, leave her alone. And they'd be like, I can't, she'd be like, I can't help it. I'm just jealous. Like, as if that justifies what you're doing, you psycho. And I hated her like touching me, obviously, because she was SAing me. So she would like pinch my butt in front of like other people in public, at my school, like anywhere, to get like a row out of me, to get me to get angry and upset and be like, see, she hates me while you're fucking doing stuff to me. And like, oh my god, it's so agitating. Being around narcissists is like the worst thing. It will destroy you. Like, it will destroy your mental health. That's why I love Dr. Romney, because she gets it. Like, you don't have to explain stuff to her because she freaking gets it. Like, she's not one of those stupid therapists who are like, oh well, what could you do to make this better? I don't know how I can make a narcissist better. You idiot. I don't know. How can you make a narcissist better? How about you ask those questions? How can you go and make this person better? Because I can't. Like, I cannot stand that. Like, when you're trying to explain to them and they be like, oh, well, how does that make you feel? Obviously horrible. Like, what do you mean? Like, I just don't get it. Then I had someone be like, well, maybe it's because you think, like, she's like, do you think you're better than them? After, like, I explained how they're treating me for no reason. Like, that family dynamic, and then people who are like them, like, in certain areas, are treating, like, keep bothering me, keep nagging me, keep harassing me, keep just walking up to me saying weird stuff. And they were like, what, do you think you're better than them? Like, ma'am, what are you talking about right now? But I'm so grateful because I've had people comment like, please keep sharing these stories, because it makes them feel better and it makes them feel like they're not crazy. And that's exactly how I feel when I watch like anybody in the exotical space, and like um the like mixed space, anybody, it doesn't matter like your race or anything to me, like whoever talks about dealing with like covert narcissism or being like harassed when you're doing nothing, I just appreciate it so much. And I hope people keep making that kind of content, because the emotional and mental toll that it takes on you is crazy. Like, the smear campaigns people will go because they want to cover up their abuse, or they don't want people liking you because you threaten them, even though you're just one person and there's like 50 billion people on this earth. But you just, you being the one person, just, that's just too much for them. Like, there's gonna, like, if I'm gone, there's just gonna be another person, idiot. Like, that makes no sense. And I hate people who are intentionally obtuse. Like, you act like you don't know exactly what I'm talking about because you want to pretend like the world can't see what you're doing. That is like a perfect example of a covert narcissist. Like, oh, I don't know. Like, what is this person doing to you? Like, the flying monkeys, they're famous for that. Like, I don't know. Like, you can be that insecure. Like, I've never wanted to make someone feel like they're going crazy when I seen exactly what someone was doing to them, just because I'm intimidated by them them or something. I'm not intimidated by people because it's like, why would you be? Like, why can't more than one person just be like pretty and love themselves and just beautiful? Like, I don't get that. I don't get that. That's not how I am. I would never want to do that to someone. I would never want to hurt that person. Sorry that I got a little sidetracked, but I had to add that in there because that really like just agitates me. Like, if you see something, why are you trying to gaslight a person, pretend like you don't understand? You know exactly what's happening to that person. You know what I mean? And that's just the bigger picture of like, some people just don't want people to ever feel good about themselves because they're mad that other people like them. Like, I've dealt with that a lot in my life. Like, people be like, oh, everyone just loves Mika. Everyone just loves you. My, like, abuser would always say that. She'd be like, oh, just everyone just loves you. It must be nice. Like, maybe if you were nicer to people, people will like you. But you're awful. Like, you're not. Like, I can't force them to like you. What do you want me to do? Or, like, you should just let me talk to them. You just sit there and be quiet. Who do you think you are? I'm not going to just be quiet because you want me to be quiet. Are you insane? Yeah, that's gonna be one of the most insecure thing people do is like tell you to not talk to people so that they could be the center of attention when they could literally just join the conversation and chat too. Like, why can't we all just talk? It's not that deep. Oh my gosh, and another thing she would do is she would lie and tell people I said things that I didn't say so that like they would like try to agree with it because they thought that because like I was nice that like maybe there was truth to it. But the entire time I never said those things. She was just lying. Like she would sit there, her and her like evil family member, one of them. I'm not even gonna mention their name. I'll think of a name to call them, and then I'll get back to that. But they will be like, I'm gonna call that person Angelica, like from the Rugrats. This person would be like, oh well, Mika thinks you're being mean. Mulatto Mermaid thinks you're being mean. So Angelica went to her boyfriend at the time, and her boyfriend was talking to me and being like, and I guess she was like wanting to shame him. So she was like, she doesn't like you. She thinks you're mean to me. She thinks you're awful to me. I never said that. And I was like, no, I didn't. She's like, whose side are you on? Mine or his? Whole time the guy didn't do anything wrong. She just liked to triangulate people to like force them to do what she wanted them to do. And I felt so uncomfortable and put on the spot. And I was just like, this is weird. And I was just like, I just got silent and wanted to go home. And Angelica like went to a private school, so she's like one of those type of like mean people. Like they're not as rich as their friends, but they want to pretend like they're snobbish, but it's like no one's viewing you that way because like you're just not, like, I don't know, it was weird. Like, I didn't view her that way, and I think it made her mad. Like, she would get mad if people spoke to me, and she would like, because like I'm mixed, and like it's the South, like let's be real, and like if a white guy spoke to me, she would be like, I'm gonna tell your dad. And I'm like, wow. And then when the dad wouldn't care, she would throw a temperature. She would go to her mother, who we're gonna call Ursula, and she would go to Ursula and be like, make her stop, make her stop. And Ursula would like hit me or like grab me by my shoulder and like dig her nails into me so that I would. She's like, you let what do we call her? Oh my god, you let Angelica speak to them this time. Next time you could talk to them, but it was never a next time. Like anytime anybody, we went to Myrtle Beach, same thing. I was talking to some kid who was my age. Mind you, like Angelica's older than me. She's 4 years older than me. So she literally was like, the little boy just wanted to talk to me, just play with me, like, and she was like, no, you don't talk to him. Let Angelica date this one. It's like, I wasn't thinking about dating him, but okay. It was like a little white boy. He was cool. He had blonde hair, and we were going around the little. Is that called like a whirlpool when you get in the tubes and you just like float around it and around it? It was like that, and it was just they always did that. Like, it didn't matter who talked to me. Like, I talked to this. Oh my god, I was talking to this guy and he liked me and he was trying to talk to me. So we're chatting and stuff like that because I never dated anyone at that point. Well, I did. I had my first boyfriend, but that's it. So we're just chatting on the phone at the bus stop, for Marley Station, that bus stop, and she's like, well, let me talk to him. And she's like, oh, it's so weird. It's so cringy. And she was like, mind you, she's like 18, 19 at this point. She's like, wouldn't you rather talk to me? I have Mm-mm-mm. She does it. And I was like, that changed something in me that day. I was like, I do not trust people like you. Like, I never trusted her, but like, she was like so aggressive, and like, I was like skinny, okay? Like, it was crazy. I'm like, something is wrong with Angelica. Like, she just like, I was like, you always have to be the center of attention. Like, it just like, it never fails. Like, no one can talk to anyone else without you getting like this. Like, it's crazy. She would sleep with like all of her friends, boyfriends, and then cry and play the victim like, oh, you can't be mad at me, you can't hate me. She was one of those. Like, I wasn't the only girl she did this to. Like, I was just one of them. Like, anybody who was around her who was pretty, she was gunning for. And it was just like, why? Like, it all stems back to Ursula, which was their mother, who was like that. Like, she would triangulate them, she would call them like fat. She was so mean to them, and they took it out on everyone else. Like, they became the same thing that she was instead of becoming better. I just remember this one instance when like we went to, I think it was like Party City, some little store. Like, it could have been like something like a Dollar Tree, but it wasn't Dollar Tree, but it had like little things that you could get like party decorations with. But it seems like kind of like a Party City store, but it wasn't big enough to be Party City. Anyway, we went there, and it was just like this cashier, and I don't know why insecure middle-aged women look at other middle-aged women who are insecure and just click, right? But these two Karens, the one who I had to live with, and that Karen was like, decided to start bullying me, a like 8-year-old, on wearing capris. They're like, oh, I just hate when people wear capris. It's like, wear shorts or wear pants. Like, who wears capris? I'm like, aren't I wearing capris? And she's like, oh, I guess you are. Like, you know how like they do that where they're like, oh yeah, I guess you are. And I was like, isn't it weird that you're an adult talking about a child? And then she like, her face turned red. She was like I just can't help it. And I'm like, you can't help talking about a child? And then she's like, well, I'm just insecure because my calves. And it's like, so you chose to take that out on a child? Like, why was it normalized in like the early 2000s to be like weird to kids like that? We need to unpack that, because that was never okay. That was always weird to be competing with a child, or like threatened by a child, or like comparing yourself to a child. I don't know. Comparing yourself to a child was always weird. But I'm gonna close this one out because it's very long. But yeah, in conclusion, stop being weird to people. Seek help, seek therapy. Get, like, the world doesn't deserve to go through what we're going through because you didn't get healing. And Dr. Romney said, like, this is rampant, and we're gonna have to like brace ourselves for it. But just remember, it's not your fault if you went through something like this.